see President Obama give Bill Russell one of the great honors, and then shortly thereafter the Celtics begin making preparations for Bill Russell's statue. And I remember reading Bill's autobiography when I was a teenager, and it was in the middle of great racial unrest in Boston, and he said something like, "Boston is one of the most racist cities in America," as a player. And I'm wondering about the connection, if any, between that comment, lingering sentiment, and decades going by before he's finally honored in this way. Don't mean to put you on the spot, but if you have any thoughts on that, I'd be curious.
I know Bill very well, and he said that he agreed to do it because the people in Boston, their attitude has changed tremendously, and by doing the statue, it's going to benefit his foundation, which works with young people. Okay. Oh, and the last thing on that gentleman's question, I don't know what's going to happen with the new Laker hierarchy. I'm sure that they have a great nucleus of players, and with a little bit of adjustments, they can still be contenders. You just have to wait and see. That's why they play the games.
I just want to let you guys know, Kareem is getting the Abraham Lincoln Gold Medal of Honor at the White House on June the 5th. So he's going to be recognized for his work, and this is not for just being a basketball player, this is his work for writing 7 books and helping promote social and racial justice.
The book and the film now, but I was wondering or hoping down the road maybe there might be a chance you might write another book about maybe your relationship with Coach Wooden, and not only as a player and a friend of what you learned from him, but also what he learned from you. You know, I know the 2 giants meeting like that is really special.
I've thought about that, and since Coach Wooden passed last summer, it's become more of an issue with me. So that might happen. We were so involved in trying to get this film done and get it out in front of the public that I really haven't had time to think about it. Deborah has told me Deborah and Anna both have told me that we have to make the best of our 15 minutes of fame. So we've been trying to do that. But certainly that is a worthy project, and I will give it some serious thought because Coach Wooden meant so much to my life, and now that he's not here, I think that people should understand just what he was all about. You have no idea of how profound some of the things. I remember in raising my kids, when I do certain things, and I think back and say, Coach Wooden did something like that with me in practice. You know, it stuck. He really was an extraordinary teacher and mentor. So it might happen. I just don't know when.
That's great.
Okay.
Sorry if my question isn't as profound as some of the others, but one of the many things you learned from the film was that there was no 24-second clock when the Reds played. So what I want to know is, did the Reds call any fouls on their free throws, considering that somebody could trip a player with an umbrella?
24-second clock didn't start until like the early 50s. They decided that they needed to speed the game up. But there were fouls called when the Reds played, but the rules were a lot different. There was a jump ball after every basket. So if you had a player like me that was really tall, he could control the game. The other team couldn't get the ball. So it's a different game then. The whole idea of scoring and everything was it was a much more methodical game at that point. And because the athletes kept getting better, the game had to evolve, and that's why they kept speeding up the game. They had to widen the 3-second lane. They did that when Bill Russell played, because they thought that he was taking advantage of being able to be close to the basket. They eliminated goaltending. They did a lot of things to make the game accommodate the athletic ability of people who kept playing the game at a higher and higher level. And that's how it evolved. That's how we got to the game, got the game to where it is today. A short person. There we go.
Graphically, the film was as riveting as it was musically, and that graphic rhythm would be kind of coming to a halt whenever we saw the image of the burned out, rooted out building where the Rams were playing. What's the status of that building?
That building is owned by the Abyssinian Baptist Church. You saw a gentleman in there, Reverend Butts. He's the pastor of the Abyssinian Baptist Church, and they own that property. During the time that we were filming this, there at one point was a theater next to the building. Just maybe 18 months ago, they had to knock the theater down because it was falling down and it had become a hazard. So the building should be a monument, but the money isn't there. The church doesn't have the money. No corporation has stepped forward to do what they could do. Chief Deborah and I were just talking earlier about maybe getting some corporate sponsorship to renovate the building and bring it back, because that building was built by Black Americans. It was not something that they took over. It was a totally Black American enterprise. So in terms of Black Americans being involved in business, it's a very important monument. It was a dance hall. It also had a shopping center. It also had a theater. So it was really an all-purpose building, and it served the community. It was the only building in Harlem, really, that the Harlem community used. They used it for weddings, social clubs, and other organizations like the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, which was an important Black union. They would have their meetings there. It really had a very multifaceted purpose for the Harlem community. It was a special place, and that history is going, because as you see, the building is a home for pigeons and rats. So hopefully somebody will do something about it.
Very good restoration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we go to the next one, just a quick reflection on that. When I see that, what I see is the link between that burned out building and the segregationist policies and the refusal to let the Reds into the NBL at the time, and lost economic opportunity, and so there's a kind of direct link. It's kind of an outward and visible sign of the impact of segregationist economic policies and social policy. So it's hard not to make that connection when you watch the film.
The Negro basketball leagues, similar to the Negro baseball leagues, the Reds were part of that. In your research, could you inform us a lot about the other basketball teams, the other Negro basketball teams that played in other cities?
There are very few other professional Negro basketball teams, because the whole issue of making money, having a business model that enabled you to make money, was paramount. This is during the Depression, and money was scarce. So there were only two teams, two Black teams, that really had the capacity to go out there and make that money. That was the Globetrotters and the Reds. That's why they were the only two that were invited to the tournament in 1939, because they were the only ones that were able to keep pace with what was happening economically.